Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel ForexPnL. Today is Friday, the 8th of July 2022. It's 2:55 p.m. and it's time for me to do my weekend Forex forecast for the upcoming week. The markets are going to be closing in, let's say, 2 hours time. But again, I have some time now, so I'm like, why not? Let me just go ahead and get this out of the way, okay? All right, so as usual, guys, we're going to be taking a look at DXY and then the major currency pairs. And then I have actually a bunch of, cross pairs that I'm also going to be taking a look at today that are giving me some structural levels to keep an eye on. But as you guys know, we usually start off by taking a look at the economical calendar at Forex Factory. So let's see what we have from a high impact news perspective, and also, bank holidays that we have for next week. All right. So as you can see right here, guys, we do have, quite a loaded agenda in my own opinion, all right? So as you can see here on Sunday, we have upper house elections, okay, from the Japanese axis. I really have not really seen this type of news before, so I don't even know what to anticipate. But the good thing is this is on Sunday, markets open, so not much impact, at least for the way that I trade, okay? And now on Monday, we have Bank of England governor speaking, all right, on Monday, and the same thing on Tuesday as well. We do have a very high impact news here, okay, on Tuesday as well. That's the official, the interest rate decisions from the New Zealand axis, okay. And as you can see here, we are still expecting an increase in the interest rates from 2% to 2.5%, okay. So that's for 50 basis points. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on, okay, as you trade next week, especially if you're trading the New Zealand dollar currency pairs. All right. Now on Wednesday, we do have CPI data coming from the United States axis. Okay, so that's obviously a high impact news of recent, and in my opinion, you have to keep an eye on this as well, okay? Now also on Wednesday, actually we have a loaded agenda on Wednesday. Just take a look. On Wednesday 10 o'clock a.m. we do have interest rate decisions also coming from the Canadian axis, and we are also expecting an increase in 50 basis points, okay, from 1.5% to 2%. So well, let's see how that goes. Another high impact news there. Now and then, later in the day, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, we do have the employment and unemployment data coming from the Australian axis. All right, so that's definitely another high impact news to keep an eye on, okay? And then on Thursday, we do have French bank holiday, PPI data and GDP data coming from China. And on Friday, we do have the retail sales data coming from the United States axis, okay? So, well, quite a loaded agenda in my own opinion, especially from a high impact news and perspective. So, let's just take that into consideration as we place our trades next week. All right. So without any further delays, guys, let's go into the charts and see what we have. As usual, I'm going to be kicking things off with DXY. Now, DXY for this particular week, what do we have? You can see that we actually have, obviously, as anticipated, a very nice and bullish week. The markets just opened for the week, gave us a little push to the downside, and then from there we exploded to the upside as anticipated. Okay, taking off these previous swing highs, and from the look of things, it's as if the markets are going to close, strongly bullish. Okay, so that's really good. You can see that the dollar continues to wax to the upside. So let's see what we have from a daily perspective. Okay, so from a daily perspective, you can see the week actually started. We had very massive push to the upside, but then yesterday and today's price action, notice how we are now about to close today a pin bar, okay, a bearish pin bar. So that might be an indication that we are running into some form of weakness, and chances are that the markets might now be about to start thinking about maybe some retracements, maybe for a downward retracement, maybe into the 4-hour supply to 4 hours demand zone, or into the daily demand zone area. Okay, only time will tell which one of these is going to hold. Okay, but from the kind of price action that I'm seeing right now on the daily charts, it's looking as if we are kind of running out of steam in this particular currency pair. Okay, you can see the strong weak rejection we are getting in this particular currency, in this particular index, okay, on the daily charts. Okay, so well, it's looking as if we might be in for some retracements. All right, now if we take a look at the 4 hours time frame, we do have obviously this demand zone here that led to the break of this level of structure. So well, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye in that particular demand zone right around 106.50 institutional price level. So well, if we get to 106.50, I'll be keeping an eye to see if we do get a bounce for maybe a possible continuation to the upside. Okay, now whether that continuation is going to give us maybe another push to the upside to take off this previous swing high, only time will tell. But it's also possible that we can bounce off of this particular demand zone area, and only for price to just kind of fizzle out again and give us a rotation to the downside into this daily demand zone area, maybe 10500, 10525 area, from where maybe the bulls might now begin to come into this market for further continuations to the upside. Okay, so well, let's see how it goes. Okay, but in my own opinion, chances are we're going to get a bounce to the upside, either from, let's say, this 4 hours demand zone or from the daily demand zone area. Okay, now that's it for Dixie. Next up is going to be US dollar Swiss francs. Now for US dollar Swiss francs, again, not much. You can see very nice bullish week as anticipated. Okay, I told you guys that you know, I from this kind of candle pattern that I'm seeing from last week, the chances are we're going to get an explosion to the upside, and you can see we got a very nice bullish week. And you know, well, that's really all that I can see right now. Okay, now we do have some room to the upside for further bullish continuation, but based on what I'm seeing right now, chances are we are going to get some form of maybe a pullback to maybe retest some demand zones in a smaller time frame, and maybe for another continuation to the upside. Okay, now whether that we are going to now get maybe a full-blown reversal into this weekly demand zone, only time will tell. Quite unlikely in my opinion. I just think that right now maybe price is just going to give us some form of dip to the downside, and then from there maybe tap into some demand zone in the smaller time frames for further continuations to the upside. Okay, that's kind of like the price action that I will prefer to see. Now if we take a look at the daily charts, not much, guys. The only thing that is really catching my attention here is this particular selling origin that we have here. Just take a look and see how the bears came in very significant momentum. All right, and you know, you can just take a look at this candle. So there was a significant selling that took place in here. So I would not be surprised, let's say, if the markets open and maybe we get a push into this particular supply zone, this selling origin, and then from here maybe the bears come into this markets to continue pushing again to the downside. Okay, I would not be surprised, but this is definitely a selling origin to keep an eye on, in my own opinion. Okay, and it's also very possible, remember, we are looking generally bullish, so it's very possible that maybe we are just going to get price in one way or the other. Maybe the week opens, we get a push to the downside, and then from there maybe a push to the upside into this particular selling origin, from where maybe the bears might flex their muscle, but just enough to create a retracement for further continuations to the upside that might now take off these particular highs. Okay, only time will tell which one is going to happen, but it's very possible that we might get this kind of a price action in this particular currency pair. Okay, so that's pretty much what I can see from the daily charts. Now in the 4 hours time frame, it's not really a very clear price action in my own opinion. Just the market has been moving generally to the upside, but not, you know, in any clear you know, clear, or let's say very beautiful you know, pattern. Okay, we just have a bunch of demand areas in here. We have one here. Okay, we do have another one in here as well. So in my own opinion, it's not looking the best. Okay, so I'm not really going to waste time trying to figure out what's going on in the 4 hours time frame, but the markets can easily bounce off of these two areas that I have just identified. Okay, maybe a push into here for another continuation to the upside. Okay, or maybe a push in here for another continuation to the upside. Okay, but all in all, I think I'm still going to be preferring, you know, a bullish move in US dollar Swiss francs after we get some form of retracements. Okay, all right, that's really what I can see right now in US dollar Swiss francs. Next up is going to be Euro US dollar, our friend Euro dollar. Now this pair performed in a very nice manner, but let me not get ahead of myself. Let's take a look at the weekly charts. Okay, so as actually, let's start from the monthly charts. I just want to call out something. Okay, now it's just in general, you can see here that Euro dollar in the monthly chart is trading in a very nice and falling channel. I just wanted to call this out. And then for a while now, we've been having this level here right around 1.0350 institutional price level. It's been working as a very significant level of support on our chart, okay, for the longest. Okay, and you notice that this week we finally broke that level to the downside. Okay, so that's a break in the direction of the trend. Okay, so chances are this might now open, you know, the floodgates to the downside. Okay, and the bears might now really start flexing their muscles. But remember, this is a very long-term time frame. This is the monthly time frame, so that doesn't mean we are not going to get bullish, significant bullish moves anymore. Okay, but it's just something that I wanted to call out. Okay, so now if we take a look at the weekly time frame, in the weekly time frame, what do we have here? Obviously a very beautiful bearish week. Okay, markets just opened, we got a little push to the upside to create the high of the week, and then from there, bang, to the downside. We got that the bearish pressure, and the bears just succeeded in pushing the markets to the downside. We have a very nice bearish week, bearish continuation, okay, taking off significant level of support. So the bears are in control in this particular market at this particular point in time, okay. Now, if we take a look at the daily charts, now in the daily charts, the picture becomes a little clearer. You notice that support level that I was talking about sitting around here, and finally a decision was made and we broke to the downside. So obviously we do have a supply zone here on the daily charts, and price can easily give us a push to the upside into this particular daily supply zone right around, let's say that's 1.0400, and then anywhere from there, obviously the markets can easily give us another rotation to the downside, okay, for further continuations to the downside. Now before that happens, obviously we have to break above this 4-hour supply zone that I have in here. So let's go into the 4 hours time frame and take a look to see what we have here. So obviously we do have this 4 hours supply zone here right around that 1.0250 institutional price level. So in my own opinion, I expect some bears to come into the markets from that particular level, okay, from this particular supply zone area. So let's say the market opens next week, I would like to see, you know, the price gets pushed to the upside, maybe towards 1.0250 institutional price level. Then if from anywhere around here, if the market gives me a bearish reversal, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. Now, if that doesn't happen, and let's say the markets succeed in breaking above this particular 4-hour supply zone, then chances are the next area we're going to be looking at is going to be right around this 103.50, 10400 institutional price level, okay, from where another set of bears might easily come into these markets to continue pushing these markets to the downside, okay. But all on our way to that particular area, if the market begins to clearly break above this 4-hour supply zone, then we might start zooming into the smaller time frames to identify demand zones from where we can easily buy and, you know, take the markets into the daily supply zone area, okay. And as usual, guys, you know, I do put out the midweek forex analysis on my Telegram channel, okay. The link is in the description box. So if that's something you would like to get, just feel free to subscribe to my Telegram channel. Like I said, the link is in the description box. Every, you know, Tuesday evening, I usually just, you know, make the analysis and just post it out there in my Telegram channel, okay, just to give you guys like an updated picture of how the market is moving for the week, okay. All right, so that's really it for Euro US dollar. Next up is going to be Australian dollar US dollar. Now for Australian dollar US dollar, very nice move that we got this week. If you guys remember, we are paying attention to this particular supply zone area, and the markets just respected it almost to perfection, and we got that push to the downside. Now, before I get ahead of myself, let's take a look at the weekly charts and see what we have in stock. Now, last week we did get a very nice and bearish push, all right, and as you can see here, you know, this was a very significant one because this push actually gave us a candle close below these lows that we have in this area, and from there now you notice that for this particular week, yes, the week started bearish, but we didn't quite take off this last week's low pretty much, and as you can see here, the bulls came back in and we have now pushed price into this particular area, okay. So in my own opinion, well, this is a very tricky price action at this particular moment, in my own opinion, okay, because this is showing this week as an indecision week, okay. The markets can easily open next week and give us a nice shoot to the upside, okay, and it can also open and just give you a nice shoot to the downside, okay, and you know, it can easily be like a reversal for further continuations to the upside, or from here it can be like a drop base and drop, you know, formation, okay, if you understand supply and demand. All right, so that's pretty much what this is looking like, okay. But this is pretty much a week of indecision. Now the general trend is to the downside, so I'm going to be favoring a bearish continuation. However, it is not the best looking in my own opinion, okay. I just wanted to put that out there. Now if we take a look at the daily time frame, not much. We did get that consolidation. My expectation would have been that, you know, the bears would come in and push price to the downside, but maybe something from the whole fundamental releases we got earlier today did not really sit well with the markets, and right now, you know, you can see that the bulls are coming in, okay, slowly but surely, okay. But in my own opinion, still generally bearish, okay. Before I go bullish in this particular currency pair, I really want to see some significant demand kick into this market, taking off this highs, okay, this week's, and then from there maybe I will start searching for long opportunities upon pullbacks in the smaller time frame. But at this particular point in time, it's looking quite bearish, okay, more bearish than bullish, okay, but again, not the best of setups, okay. All right, now in the 4 hours time frame, you know, price gave us that very beautiful flat bottom triangular consolidation, okay, and notice how price dipped into this particular supply zone, and from there gave us a very nice push to the downside, okay. But then notice how we didn't quite take off this previous swing low, and from there the market has just been ranging at this particular moment, okay. Looking bearish, but we are not going anywhere. Just pay attention and see that the market is pretty much ranging at this particular moment, okay, with this right here being the with this being the bottom of the range, okay, one second, with this being the bottom of the range and this right here being the top of the range, okay, something like this, okay. So the market is pretty much stuck in a range at the moment, okay. So two things need to happen here. Either we get a bearish continuation from here, and then, you know, we break below these lows. Then anytime that happens, then I'll be looking for supply zones in the smaller time frame for further continuations to the downside, okay. So let me just scroll up so that you guys have an idea what I'm referring to. So it's either, let's say the market opens, we get a little push to the upside, okay, and then from there the bears come into this market, break below these lows. Then whenever that happens, I'm going to be waiting for price to give me a pullback to retest breakout levels and supply zones in the smaller time frames for further continuations to the downside, okay. And that will be my preferred move, to be completely honest with you. But then in the event that that doesn't happen and we begin to get significant breaks to the upside, then I'll be paying attention to these particular levels right here to hold price for maybe another push to the upside, okay. So you know, this is also a possibility at this particular moment. All right, so I just wanted to kind of put that out there so that you guys have an idea, you know, what I'm seeing in this particular currency pair. But like I said, it's looking more bearish than bullish, okay. All right, now that's really it for Australian dollar, US dollar. Now US dollar, Canadian dollar, to be completely honest with you, this pair is just messing up, okay. We got another top right now. We have like a triple top formation right here on the daily charts, okay. As you can see here, it's really significant resistance around that 130, 100 institutional price level, and we do have almost like a bottom right here around 128.50. So the market, again, just like in the case of Australian dollar, US dollar, we need to make a decision, and so like I said, I'll be waiting for either a break to the downside, okay. Let's say the market's open and we get a break to the downside, taking off these lows, then I'll be waiting for price to pull back to supply zones in the smaller time frame for further continuations to the downside, okay, at least into this buying origin area, okay. Now in the event that this does not happen, and let's say the markets break the top of this particular resistance area, okay, if that happens again, I want to see some really serious momentum, and then I will just wait for price to give me a pullback into demand zones, okay, that form in the smaller time frames for further continuations to the upside, okay. Those are the two things that I'm going to be waiting for in this particular currency pair. Now yes, if price remains in here in this space, I am not really interested because anything can happen. All right, so that's pretty much what I can see in US dollar, Canadian dollar. Next up is going to be New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Now for New Zealand dollar, US dollar, if we take a look at the weekly time frame, well, another bearish week. Not very strong, still looking like a spinning top, but again still ended up closing you know, bearish, okay. Not much, okay, can be said at this from this particular formation. Price looking more bearish than bullish, obviously, okay, and the market's just looking, you know, generally to the downside. All right, now not much in the daily time frame either. If we take a look at the 4 hours time frame, again, it's kind of you know, not really looking so beautiful, to be completely honest with you. You can notice that price gave us this nice push earlier in the week. All right, we did respect this particular supply zone earlier as well, but price is failing to make a new low, okay. So just pay attention and see, this is now ranging. This is now a ranging market, with this being the bottom of the range and this being the top of the range, somewhere right around here being the top of the range, okay. So the market is now stuck in a range, in this range right here. So obviously we do need a breakout from that range. In my own opinion, I would prefer bearish moves. So I'll prefer to see the markets give me, let's say, maybe if possible we can get a fake out, so be very careful. But I prefer to see a break of these lows that we have in this particular area, and then when that happens, I'll be zooming into the smaller time frames to search for supply zones for further continuations to the downside. Okay, that would be my preferred course of action, in this particular currency pair. All right, but yeah, it's very possible that the markets might open and then we might get a quick push to the upside, maybe to retest, all the supply zones that we have in this neighborhood, and then from there the markets can easily plummet from those levels. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing right now in this particular currency pair. Okay, but for these US dollar crosses that we've taken a look at, personally, I prefer the euro dollar setup because it looks very nice. The supply zone is just forming right around an institutional price level. So if I was to make a decision, I would prefer to take this trade on euro US dollar. Okay, just wanted to point that out. Now next up is going to be British pounds and US dollar. Now for British pounds US dollar, if we take a look at the weekly time frame, again, bearish week, not much, looking more like a pin bar. Notice the wick that we have, the wick rejection that we have as well in this particular currency pair. So does that mean that we are probably going to now have some bullish reaction? Well, only time will tell. But at this particular point, you cannot really be going against the bears because the market has just been making lower lows in this particular currency pair as well. All right, now if we take a look at the daily charts, well, the week started out pretty strong. Okay, the bears came into this market, pushed the markets to the downside, took off this previous swing low. All right, and right now notice for yesterday and today we did get a bullish move. The bears attacked to the downside, but again, you notice and see the rejection, okay, that we are getting from those levels, okay, right around let's say 119.25 area. So well, the question is, what is going to happen in this particular currency pair? There's obviously decision that was made here before the bears, gave us this nice push to the downside that took off this previous level of structure that we have here. So we do have some form of supply zone in here for sure. So let me just mark that out. All right. So chances are the markets might find a way to push in there, and then a decision will be made whether whether we are going to be getting a continuation to the downside from here, or whether the bulls are going to come in and break this to the upside. Okay. So only time will tell. But like I said, it's looking more bearish than bullish. Okay. Now, if we take a look at the 4 hours time frame, okay, so in the 4 hours time frame, this is that supply zone area. So it's very, very possible that price is going to find a way to make it into this particular supply zone area, maybe 12100 area, anywhere from right around, let's say 12100 area. If we begin to get any reversals, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing in this particular currency pair. Now, in the event that price begins to break to the upside, okay, without even respecting this supply zone, we get a massive push to the upside, then I'll just be waiting for demand zones in the smaller time frame to get tested, and then from there I'll be looking for buying opportunities for further continuations to the upside. Okay, but again, like I said, I prefer bearish moves. Okay, now next up is going to be US dollar Japanese yen. Now for US dollar Japanese yen, guys, if we take a look at the weekly charts now, I was expecting the bears to come in these markets this week, okay, because of the fact that we've now had significant weak rejections, okay, for the past 2 weeks. And then for this particular week, you notice how the bulls came into this market. Well, quite a bullish week. However, we did not take off the previous swing high. So, the market is still stuck in that particular consolidation that we have in here. So it needs to make a decision to either break to the upside or give us at least a rotation to the downside, at least into this particular daily demand zone area. Okay, so that's the decision that the markets need to make. For all week, just pay attention, no action per se. Okay, market moves up, moves down, moves up. Nothing is going on in this particular currency pair at the moment. Okay, so what I personally would prefer to see in this pair, based on the analysis we've done on the weekly time frame, I'll prefer to see the bears come into this market and push this currency pair to the downside, at least towards this particular demand zone area that we have on the daily charts. Okay, right around, let's say 132.50 area, 132.80 area, anywhere from right around here. I will expect the bulls to come in and give us another attack to the upside. Okay, that is the price action that I'm going to like to see from the daily charts. Now, in the 4 hours time frame, not much is going on in this particular currency pair. Okay, so I'm not even going to waste your time. Okay, you can see the market is pretty much ranging. Okay, this is the range that this currency pair is playing in at the moment. Okay, something like this. Okay, so the market needs to break out from this range So if we do get a break, let's say a very clear break to the upside, taking out that weekly high, anywhere from right around here, obviously I'll be waiting for price to give me a pullback into demand zones for further continuations to the upside. Okay, that is if that is what happens. Now in the event that the market begins to give us a push to the downside, clearly breaking below here, then I'll be waiting for supply zones to get filled for another nice push to the downside into this daily demand zone area, from where I will expect the bulls to flex their muscles for another nice swing to the upside. Okay, that is kind of what I would love to see in US dollar Japanese yen. All right, so that's pretty much it. Next up is going to be British pound some Japanese yen. Now for British pound some Japanese yen, this is going to be obviously the last major that I'm looking at. All right, not much is going on here in this particular currency pair. Just take a look at this week's price action. Okay, the market is pretty much closing at the same price that it opened. We started off pushing to the downside, and then from here the bulls came into these markets and pushed these markets to the upside, and finally we are settling at the opening price of the week. How is that? Okay, now if we go into the daily time frame, not much, honestly. I'm not gonna waste your time. Price is still finding, you know, buy orders from this particular buying origin that we have in this particular neighborhood right here. Okay, so that is what's pretty much going on in this particular currency pair. But it's not the best of setups in my own opinion. We are failing to make a new high, okay, and at the same time we are really failing to make a new low right here. So the market is in some form of consolidation at this particular point in this particular currency pair. Okay, so I'm not even gonna waste your time trying to figure out where this market is going. All right, now we do have some form of supply in here. Okay, significant level of you know, selling level right here. So chances are it's very possible that price can easily dip into this particular supply zone, and then from here we might get another reaction to the downside. Okay, that's pretty much what I can see here. Not the best looking setup, but there are a few levels to keep an eye on. Okay, all right, so that's it for GJ, and that's it for the majors. Now we're just going to breeze through the other cross pairs, okay, just to show you guys the setups that I'm seeing. Now if we go into Euro Yen, now for Euro Yen, well, obviously this market is trending to the downside. Okay, I like this particular supply zone area that we have in this neighborhood. All right, right around, let's say 139.25 areas, 139.50 areas. So anywhere from right around here, obviously I like the boost to come in, push the markets to the upside into this particular supply zone. Anywhere from right around here, if we get any reversals and shift in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for opportunities to go short for further continuations to the downside. That's it for Euro Yen. Next up is going to be Canadian dollar Swiss francs. Now for Canadian dollar Swiss francs, guys, if you guys remember from the Telegram channel, I told you guys about this setup, and you can see how it's playing out right now. Now in this particular case, well, I would really love to see this market. You can see we have an inverted head and shoulder, with this being the neckline of this particular you know, head and shoulder, and the markets gave us a push down earlier this, you know, today, and retested that neckline, and you can see the bulls have now come in again, and we are pushing again to the upside. Now I personally would really love to see this market give us maybe another full swing pullback, okay, to retest the neckline again, and then from here any bounces we get, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. Okay, I'll probably be adding to my positions, okay, because I have some positions from here. I'll probably be adding more upon this particular pullback for further continuations to the upside. Okay, that is kind of the price action that I would love to see in Canadian dollar Swiss francs. All right, now that's it for CAD CHF. Next up is going to be Australian dollar Swiss francs. Now Australian dollar Swiss francs, if we go into the daily time frame, price right now actually just basically tapped the bottom of this particular daily supply zone area, and you can see the rejection we are getting. So what I would love to see in this particular currency pair, maybe the week opens next week, we get a push to the downside, and then from there, you know, I would like to see these markets give us a very nice push into this particular daily supply zone, maybe towards 0.6750 institutional price level area. Anywhere from right around here, guys, if we get any shifts in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. All right, that's pretty much the setup that I'm tracking. Now that being said, in the hourly time frame, we do have obviously this nice demand zone area that led to the break of this level of structure that we have right here around 0.6675 level. So what I would love to see in this particular currency pair is for price to give me a push in here, you know, and then from here, maybe anywhere from right around here, probably this would be the move that will take price deep into that particular daily supply zone area, from where I will expect the bears to really come into these markets again for further continuations to the downside. All right, so that's pretty much what I can see right now in the hourly time frame of Australian dollar Swiss francs. But again, this is happening right around market close, and when market opens, I wouldn't really want to be going long immediately. So let's see how this plays out. All right, but this is a significant zone in my own opinion. All right, now that's it. Next up is going to be British pounds and Swiss francs. Now, for British pounds and Swiss francs, what do we have here on the daily time frame? I do like this particular daily supply zone. You can see I have my alarm sitting in there. So what I would love to see right now is for the markets to maybe open next week and give me a nice push to the upside into this daily supply zone area, right around, let's say, 118.50 levels, anywhere from right around here, guys. If we get any shifts in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. All right, now next up is going to be New Zealand dollar Swiss francs. Okay, so a lot of Swiss francs currency pairs looking very nice. This one is really looking very beautiful, very nice. You can see the candles pattern, the price action, very beautiful. Okay, so in this particular case, again, very similar. I would love to see price give me a push into this particular daily supply zone area, anywhere from right around, let's say, 0.6100 institutional price level, 61.25, anywhere from right around this area, guys. If we get any shifts in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. All right, now that's pretty much what I can see right now in New Zealand dollar Swiss francs. Next up is going to be New Zealand dollar Canadian dollar. Now New Zealand dollar Canadian dollar, I like this particular daily supply zone area that was formed as a result of the break of this level of structure. So, well, in this case, again, I would like to see price give me a nice push to the upside, okay, into this daily supply zone, right? Let's say anywhere from 81.25, 81.50 levels, anywhere from right around here, guys. If we get any reversals in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. Now, that being said, remember, it's very easy for price to just open, and from here we start shooting to the downside. But this is going to be my preferred course of action based on the price action that we are seeing right now on our chart. Okay, the key point is right now. Okay, all right, so that's pretty much what I can see in New Zealand dollar Canadian dollar. Now, the next up is going to be Euro Canadian dollar. Very beautiful. I actually showed you guys this particular one on the Telegram channel, for those of you who follow the Telegram channel, and this pair just played out massively, to perfection. Okay, all right, so from the 4 hours time frame, what do we have here? Well, I'm paying attention to this particular supply zone area. Personally, I would love to see price give me a push to the upside, okay, into this particular supply zone that we have here. So anywhere from right around here, maybe 132.75 levels, anywhere from here, guys. If we get any reversals in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. Okay, all right, now next up is going to be Euro New Zealand. Okay, all right, so for Euro New Zealand, also a very nice level that I'm tracking. I would like to see price give me a push into this particular 4 hours supply zone area, anywhere from right around here, maybe 166.50 area. If we get a reversal to the downside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. All right, now next up is going to be Euro Australian dollar. Now, for Euro Australian dollar, what do we have here? Very nice as well. You can see that we have this particular supply zone that was formed as a result of the break of this level of structure and this level of structure. So this is a quite a strong level in my own opinion. Personally, I would love to see this currency pair give me maybe we might get a quick push to the downside just to take off these lows and grab liquidity, and then from what's happening to my mouse, and then from here I would like to see the bulls coming to this market to push price into this particular 4 hour supply zone right around that institutional price level of 1.50. Okay, 1.5, anywhere from there, guys. It is a high quality level. If we get any reversals in the smaller time frame, it is a high level for one to start searching for short opportunities for further continuations to the downside. Okay, that is going to be my own preferred course of action in this particular currency pair. All right, now that's it for Euro Australian dollar. Now, the last but not the least is going to be Euro pounds. Now, for Euro pounds, from the longer perspective, guys, it's looking as if this is going to actually be a very nice level to start buying this pair again. Like I said, guys, I'm seeing this pair, I'm seeing a situation whereby this pair is going to give me a long-term, move to the upside. However, if you remember, I am not really trading it because of the complex pattern. yes, we are generally moving to the upside, but you can see the very deep retracements that we get in this particular currency pair. So in my own opinion, guys, you know, we are probably, you know, if you're a longer term trader, this might be good levels to start buying again. All right, in anticipation that the market is going to push to the upside. However, from the 4 hours time frame, what I can see here is that we do have a very nice supply zone area that led to the break of this level of structure. And then what I would love to see right now is for the markets to give me a push to the upside into that particular supply zone, right around, let's say, 85.25 level, 85.50 level, anywhere from right around here, guys. If we get a switch in the smaller time frame, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. All right, so that's pretty much the currency pairs that are giving me a structural level to keep an eye on as we go into next week, guys. I hope you guys gain some value from this particular video, and guys, if you did, please do not forget to click on that like button, subscribe to my channel, click on that notification bell so that you will always get updates whenever I make a video. All right, that's it from my own end, guys. Cheers and have a profitable trading week ahead. Bye bye.